Alrighty, we're back. Side by Side Australia podcast, episode 4. And I'm here today with my old buddy Dave Newman. How you going, Dave?
I'm good. How you going?
I'm wonderful. But you already knew that. So when everyone's talking about Noodles, they're talking about you. We know everyone that we hang around with, apart from me, has got a nickname that's stuck, and yours has always been Noodles. Do you even remember why everyone calls you Noodles?
No idea at all.
It was Potsy, wasn't it? I think Potsy gave it to you.
Oh, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a classic anyway. So anytime anyone's talking about Noodles, it's you. So you're the vice president of the Side by Side Club of Australia, which basically means you do all the work and we get all the glory.
Oh,
right?
I wouldn't say all. It's shared between quite a few big hands.
Yeah, it is. But certainly with the setting up of the club, with all of the back end work, all the bank accounts and all of the systems, all the apps, all of that sort of stuff, you've certainly been integral in getting all of that going. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much for everything you've done there, buddy.
No, my pleasure.
Easy. All right. Now I'm going to flip my little page over, go on and do a little bit of an intro of yourself and myself and how you fit into the thing, because most people know that all the people involved in the Side by Side Club of Australia, we're pretty much all quad riding guys from back in the day, and we either don't ride quads anymore or we're too old to ride quads now. And we've evolved. With age comes a cage, and we've all moved up to side by sides. That's definitely the case with you, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that sums it up pretty good, for sure. Definitely got too old for beating myself down tracks on a quad.
Yeah, the gravity gets a lot stronger as you get bigger physically and in age, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does.
Just so people know a bit of our history, so I've done a bit of a list of some of the quad bike adventures that we've been on. So this is not the side
here
by
we go.
Yeah, this is just the quad ones. And I've probably forgotten some. The biggest one probably was the Simpson Desert Crossing for Polaris that we shot a video with the whole range of Polaris quads. And Donna, your wife, came on that one as well. And that, just to show how long ago that was pre-side by sides.
Like the existence of side by sides.
I think Yamaha Rhinos might have been around, but certainly Polaris didn't have side by sides at all. They didn't even have the Ranger back then.
Yeah, okay. So not even just sport stuff. There was barely anything at all.
No, I think John Deere had the Gator. Maybe Yamaha had the Rhino, and that would be about it. So, yeah, that was pretty early.
And from memory, that was, what, 2007?
I don't know. I'm really crap with years. Yeah, it probably was. It probably would have been. But that wouldn't have been the first adventure we'd been on. We would have built up to that. So you came on the 3 states tour. You probably led that.
Actually, I marked that and didn't get a go on that one.
Oh, okay. Didn't get a
me and you marked it in my cruiser, and
did we ever fix your
may have accidentally? Yeah, and then I broke it again shortly afterwards.
So you have a bit of a habit of busting shit when I'm around. Sorry about that. So 3 states tour. You didn't come on, but obviously we pre-ran it. Border track tour.
Yep, did that one.
Yep. Sharinga Sand Dunes over on the west coast of SA a few times.
Multiple trips there, definitely.
And pretty much every one of them, someone got airlifted out. They're pretty crazy dunes over there. I'm almost a bit happy we don't have access to those ones anymore. Kingston Sand Dunes multiple times, obviously. Peak Sand Dunes. Anna Branch out from Broken Hill.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah. I've done it. Well, I've started it twice. I've finished it. Started it 3 times, finished it once.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wasn't there for the time where you woke up in Farmer Joe's paddock, wrapped up in a fence. Yeah, I wasn't there for that one. And Flinders Rangers rides. I know I've done a bunch of quad ones up there with the quad club back in the day. Did you do any of the quad ones? You would have done, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's where you started riding Polarises.
Yeah, I would have done all of them, I would imagine.
That's where you did a wheel stand on the demo Polaris and ended up buying it off Scooter.
Yeah, it was on camera though, so it still counts.
It does, yeah. It was actually turned up in one of the videos. It was a nice bit of work. So we've done a heap of quad stuff together. And obviously that's all evolved now. We did a bit of two-wheel riding. You still do a lot of two-wheel riding with your Tenere. I don't do hardly any two-wheel riding anymore because I just don't have the chance and I'm a bit soft. But I still do have a DR650. But now that we're evolving into the side-by-side thing, we're starting up the adventures with that. Obviously, we got 2 under our belt already, and we've got 3 to go. Now, the other stuff that I've got sitting on my list here for my intro to you, what side-by-side do you currently drive?
I've got a Max 4-seater Can-Am.
X3.
X3, yeah.
XRS, yep. Beautiful. And outside the club rides, where do you drive it?
I've got my own property up at or near Morgan, 350 acres up there, so mostly just around there.
Yep.
Well, that's the only other spot I've managed to get to ride it at the moment. So lucky to have somewhere private to ride, but definitely would get bored of that pretty quick if that's all there was.
Yeah, certainly. That's what the club's all about. Absolutely. Where's the most memorable place you've ever driven a side-by-side?
Oh, probably in Inner Mongolia.
That was one with me, wasn't it? That was a fun trip. That was
one with you, yeah.
We promised we'd never do again. So, so that was one of the advanced driver training schools that we did for Can-Am. We did 3 of those, I think, and with the Sheridan boys from Tassie, with Jono, my brother-in-law, he's been on a couple of them, and Ian. But yeah, that was the last one that we did, I reckon. And that was the one where I got to tell the Le Mans drinking story.
Fair enough.
Because that was your fault. You instigated that. So do you want to take us through where it came from?
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay, so part of what we do when we do the advanced driver training school, certainly in China, the Chinese guys love to play a game. And they don't really care what the game is as long as there's a game involved. So what we did is to try to keep things nice and safe, because basically an advanced driver training school over there is keep them up the right way for 3 days without anyone getting hurt, with basically no translators, and everything is translated and communicated through matchbox cars in a sandpit. And so for the game, what we did, we had 2 guys lying down facing away from their buggies, about 50 metres from their buggies, I guess. And then we do the ready, set, go. They jump up, run back to the buggy, jump in and drive forwards. And there's not a lot of driving. It's all about the getting up, running and looking like a dill in the sand, and getting into the buggy and then driving off. And that's a Le Mans start. We basically explained to them that's how they start Le Mans racing. There's a lot of events around the world that start like that. So come that night, we're having the big gala dinner in their little tent, and they're bringing out the sheep, goat, not really sure what it was, that we're trying to eat. And then I get called off to go have a meeting with the local mayor and the local contact from Can-Am. And so I'm away for about, an hour and a half. And I come back and I walk into the tent. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's having a laugh. Everyone's got about 50 dB louder. And you come running up to me and say, "You got to see this. You got to see this. I taught them Le Mans drinking." So I basically see these 2 Chinese guys lying on the ground, jumping up, running over, sculling, and then staggering back to their chairs. It was hilarious. It escalated pretty quickly in an hour and a half that I wasn't there. It
was surprising how quick. It was surprising how quick they understood what we were going for with the whole Le Mans drinking. Like, no, we couldn't understand them; they couldn't understand us, but we worked it out in the end.
Oh yeah, the international language of alcoholism. Perfect. So that was probably one of my favourite memories of our trips. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so now into the podcast. I'm going to do a bit of a wrap up of Warraweena. Now you helped me set up Warraweena, and then at the last minute you have about 7 nervous breakdowns and fiascos happen on top of each other. And eventually I just said to you, dude, you've got this weekend to get your life in order, because you had a car blow up and all sorts of stuff going on. and work was all falling all over the place. You had that weekend where you could just consolidate, get your house in order, and then get back to work on Monday. You were actually going to drive up. And how big a drive was it for you to come to Warraweena?
Oh, it's probably 6.5 hours, roughly.
Yeah, right. And as it turns out, we only did 2 half days of driving anyway because there was a storm coming through. So you made the right call by not coming, but you helped get it all set up because you and I have ridden there on two-wheelers before, and it's a fantastic property.
Yeah, it definitely is. A bit of everything there, really. Like there's mountains to climb, riverbeds to drive in, awesome camp spots, free camping if you want to go down that. But I think you guys stayed in the shearers' quarters, was it, or the
Yeah,
homestead?
I can't remember which one they actually call it. There was 2 separate spots we stayed in. One was the main house, which is near where Ian's office is, and then there's another spot which was probably about 100 metres away where Baker and a couple of the other guys stayed, which had its own little kitchenette and a little fire area and everything and showers and stuff. So, so we had 2 separate spots, but they were pretty close to each other, which is good because Baker snores like a bugger. I do too, but I don't mind keeping people
Oh, you're
awake.
lucky I didn't get there.
Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite for the club to be on the committee. You've got to snore above 45 dB. So anyway, we ended up getting there, and on the Friday, we had a killer ride. I can't remember what the track was that was called. We got 3/4 of the way up. We started losing light, but it was basically just cruising along creek beds, like those sandy creek beds that Flinders are famous for. We've got a big cliff on one side and big gum trees and sort of ducking under the trees, and you can scoot along at sort of 30, 40, 50 k's an hour in some spots, but it wasn't the big climbs. And then on the Saturday morning, we did Mount Gill, which is the big crazy climbs, and that was just awesome. But really, really windy. It was drizzling. It was freezing cold, and there was all these storm warnings coming through. We could stand on top of Mount Gill, and we could see these big black clouds just dumping all over the place. They missed us, but we sort of made the call at about lunchtime on the Saturday that we're not going to get out if we stay till Sunday morning, which was our plan. So we basically bumped out at lunchtime because we had about 20 k's of really, really rough dirt road to get to the blacktop. And as it turns out, on the Sunday morning, it was closed. They actually shut that road down. So we would have been there till, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday if we didn't get out on the Saturday. So we made the right call. It cut it short, but we got to experience what it's all about. And you can see in the video on YouTube and on social media the Warraweena ride that we did at Mount Gill. It was a beautiful bit of country. You missed a good ride, but hopefully next time.
Oh, yeah, I definitely love it up there. I'm keen to get back, but yeah, just a comedy of errors that weekend for me.
Yeah, no, these things happen, mate. Life gets in the way every now and then. That's why it's such a good thing that we've got a crew around us that the ride was still able to happen. And I must do a shout out to Angus from Gippsland, who he and his old man came all the way over from Gippsland for the ride, and then we went to go start the Mount Gill ride, and it's like, well, I don't know where we're going, and I'm driving, so I didn't want to try to navigate as well because you always navigate. You're a navigating guy. You do all the pre-planning of exactly the GPS tracking of where we're going and everything, and we don't always not get lost. But you always find our way back. And then when we didn't come, we're sitting there in the buggies, and it's like, well, I'm not leading. Well, I'm not leading. I'll lead if you don't want to find your way home. And we looked around the group, and the only person who was sitting in a buggy who had half a clue on navigation, as we hoped, and didn't have a steering wheel in front of him was Angus, because his old man was driving their Max. So we're like, Angus, you're it, mate. We'll follow you. And he's like, what? Okay. And he didn't let us down. He did an almighty job. So, Angus, thank you very much, mate. That was great. We'll try not to dump you in the deep end again, but you certainly did your bit and helped the boys out. So thank you for that. While we're talking about navigation, I want to have a quick chat to you because we've been doing some planning for this big pack saddle ride we've got coming up in October. And a lot of these rides you do pre-planning with different apps and working out a general idea of where we're going to go. So we've got half a clue. Doesn't always work because fences
Yep.
you can't really see on Google Earth and stuff and things like that. But what sort of software do you usually use?
Oh, I've got a combination of stuff that I use. So I'm a bit of a fan of any of the Garmin products. They're pretty bulletproof. They're good devices to have in your vehicle, bike, car, whatever you've got. So Garmin's what I use in the machine to see where I'm going, but there's not necessarily the best way of planning any of those routes. So I then use a combination of Gaia, which is just a GPS mapping software, and a combination of that and Google Maps. And with the three things, normally I have them all open at the same time on multiple screens. I'm sitting in front of a computer now, I'll just get it open and you can see what I look at.
So you do this planning on any of the rides, whether it's on the two-wheeler or the side-by-side club. This is how you generally do it.
Yeah.
So much
just a
easier
combination
now.
of, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, in saying that, I've still got a lot of paper maps for just paper maps are good because you can open up a giant paper map and see everything. Whereas with the mapping software, Google Maps, even the Garmin maps, I use Basecamp for the Garmin, but they're a bit of it's zoomed in. As soon as you start zooming out, you lose some detail, you lose some tracks. So I'm just going to flip the camera around and give you a quick look at what I look at.
Already. Yeah, righto. Holy cow. Yeah, a bit going on there.
Yeah, so it works. It's not quick, but it's the best way I've found of doing it. So you can look at one, see a track, and then look at the other one and go, okay, I can see where that goes on satellite photo, see what you can try and avoid. The Garmin stuff is actually pretty good for showing fences and gates and stuff like that. So you can pick up some stuff there, but everything changes when you're actually out there. So you've got to be able to make it up on the go as well. So that's why I like the Garmin stuff in the vehicles because it just works. I've never had a failure yet with any of the hardware. I've used phone software before and I find it just kills batteries on your phone. It doesn't work overly quickly, and then half of where we go, there's no service anyway. So you can't access the data that you need. So
yeah, unless you download it prior to going, and sometimes you don't know exactly where you're going.
no, that's right.
No, and the other thing that we've been working on lately, I still don't think we've 100% nailed, and I've got a bit of info about this for you that I worked out yesterday, is communications. So most of us have got UHFs in our buggies, and we generally run on channel 25. I think lately we've been running on. Most of us have been getting the GME XPS series.
XRS, I think.
XRS, is it? I think it's XRS is the Can-Ams. I reckon it's XPS. Now you've got to go get it because you've got a 606 portable. And I've got an in-car one. It is XRS. Sorry, you're right. There you go. Garmin XRS. So what we found out with the Sena headsets that we run in our helmets that we've been using for adventure bike riding, which mesh, they're good when you're close together. So for the first couple of guys, they work pretty well. But as soon as you get a gap in the train, you lose connection with the people beyond the gap. And what I've been trying to work on is it looks like that you can get the XRS comms and you can Bluetooth them to the Sena headsets. And I thought I could do that just with the little push button Bluetooth. It's called a BTT little button that you can get from GME. But it turns out that on its own only works with the 660, which is the portable one that you've got.
Oh, it doesn't work with the in-car one, the fixed mounted one.
You've got to get the module, which is about $180 from Anaconda. I'm going to pick one up tomorrow, which comes with the push button and the module, and that plugs into the unit where the microphone goes, and then the microphone plugs into the back of that unit. So you need that. So my unit that's built into the 390, which is the in-car version, waterproof one, which is in my buggy at the moment, I can Bluetooth that to my phone, but to Bluetooth it to the headset and to the push button, push to talk, you need to have that actual module, which are $180. So I only get one of them tomorrow. So I'm going to have one of those push button things I don't need anymore. So if you need one, you get a free one. Aren't you lucky?
Oh, so you don't need the push button thing?
Well, the kit for $180 that I get comes with a push button thing and the module, whereas I bought just the push button thing on its own, which is what you need. So I've got what you need.
Okay.
So now you've got what you need, and it didn't cost anything. Bargain. That's the best way to get stuff, is to let Mick buy the wrong thing first, and then you get it. So technically, when we go to Scorpion Park, which is the next ride, which we're about to talk about, I want to set up the comms for UHF rather than mesh at one point, just to try them, to see how they go, because we'll have much, much bigger range, but I want to see how they go. So if people aren't following what we're talking about, basically we want to be able to have a helmet on with comms and everything built in, not have to plug a wire into anything, and have a UHF in the buggy, and they connect to each other, so we can actually talk through our normal comms in our helmet wirelessly through the UHF. So up until recently, it hasn't been all that easy to do, but these new GME, well, they're not even that new, but these GME XRS units enable that to happen. So we're going to give it a crack and just see how good it is. So anyway, be more on that hopefully after Scorpion Park, when we work out if we can actually do it or not. And the good thing is none of this technology is all that expensive either. So, I mean, how much was your 660, the handheld one?
Oh, less than $500.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
and then
460 or something like that. Not ridiculous.
So you don't need an external aerial or any of that sort of stuff. It's a 5-watt anyway. You can have it on your body if you want, or in your buggy. And if you've got this push button thing and you compare it to your center headset, which you've already got, theoretically, touch wood, it should all work. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Luke Beeching, welcome back to the podcast, mate. ATV store, absolutely killing it. Now, we caught up, what was it, 2 weeks ago now at Farm Fest in Toowoomba. That's your first time at a field days, I think.
Yeah, mate. All these years I've been involved with ATVs and UTVs, and that's my first Farm Fest I've actually been to. So it's around the same time as Fink. So a few times I've wanted to go over the years, but just not made it because I was at Fink. And then last few years been busy and just haven't made it. So yeah, it was really good to go and have a look around and see what's on offer at the moment, and definitely catch up and have a chat about a few things with you. So
yeah, no, it was good. Really good to catch up. Now you've got some things for us. You've got some new billet products, some sexy bits for our buggies. Give us a bit of a run through of what ATV stores just landed.
Yeah, we've been working on a lot of new brands, a lot of new products, things that people are asking for. Mod Quad is a brand out of the US. It's all made in the US. A lot of billet products, a lot of ATV stuff and side-by-side UTV stuff. We've been selling a few of their bits and pieces. So only recently we've just, gone a lot harder, got a lot more of their stock. A lot of cool things they have, a lot of ATV stuff, which is cool, billet kickstarters and bits and pieces. But the UTV stuff, the cool little trinkets and bits and pieces, billet light mounts are available in a range of sizes, to fit all your RZRs, your Mavericks and such, sway bar links and such. The good thing about a lot of their stuff is it's quality made. So they use, really good, stainless steel bushes in them. They use good quality, FK Heim joints, and they make a huge range of stuff, like cup holders. Who doesn't want a billet looking, cup holder? They look cool, and then rear radius plates with tow hooks and stuff. They have an awesome range of products. So we've just landed that. It's all going up on the website. We've got fitment on there so people can see what's available for their vehicle. And then we're going to keep adding to this range of stock from them as well. So
you can get this sort of billet stuff online, and you can bring it in from the States or get it on Alibaba and all that sort of stuff. But you never know what you're getting. But at least if you get it from ATV store, it's going to be quality, and you're going to have it in a couple of days because you guys have got it in stock in Queensland.
Yeah, that's the best part. Like every item of it that we list on our website, we carry in stock. We have it here. As you know, we do, same day shipping. If it's before 2 o'clock is our guarantee to get it out that day. We do express. So yeah, as you say, yeah, it's the big thing is having it here in stock so guys can order it, get it, really quickly. And we do look at all the products. We get all this in. I open the boxes up, have a look at them, make sure everything's good and what it should be, and do that sort of research as well. So we want to make sure we're offering the best products around.
Yeah, cool. I actually bought something last week from ATV store. I don't even know if you saw it, but I was in New Zealand doing the field days over there, and my Ogio gear bag, I realised I needed to get another backup one, and I started Googling to get one when I was in New Zealand, and the first one that popped up was ATV store for a Black Stealth Ogio gear bag. So, yeah, bang, just ordered it, and it's just sitting in Adelaide waiting for me now. So very, very quick service.
Great.
Always happy with it.
Excellent. That's great to hear.
Very cool. All right, well, we're going to jump out of it, and we'll catch up with you at the next podcast, and you've got some really cool stuff for us coming up then. I believe you've still got it actually coming, and it hasn't actually turned up yet, so hopefully by then it has, and we'll get into it. So, again, thank you very much for your time, buddy. We'll catch you soon.
Sounds good, mate. Talk to you soon.
Okay, next ride. I'm all over the place today. Sorry about that. Next ride is back to some of our old stomping ground where we used to run the Thumb Pump 300, which was the biggest standalone quad race in the country. Scorpion Park, just out of Pinaroo. So it's a purpose-built racetrack that we built. There was a track there originally years and years ago, but we basically created this track on this fantastic property because it's in between Adelaide and Melbourne. It's right on the border track between South Australia and Victoria, and it's sand. So basically there's minimal to no dust, even in the middle of summer. It's a pretty amazing spot. It's all sand. And the reason why we started the Thumb Pump 300 back in the day, which was, let's see, it's been running for 2 years now, rerunning for 2 years. The Van Vliet boys have been running it. Prior to that, there was 10 years that it didn't happen. And we ran it for about 6 or 7 years before that. You got a Thumb Pump plaque behind you there. I can see on the wall. That was from
that's
2012.
A 2012 one, yeah. Which is probably in the middle somewhere, I would imagine. Or no, it must be close to the end.
Yeah, okay. No, it would be close to the end. Yeah, you're right. Probably second to last one. So this track we did run side-by-sides on the Thumb Pump 300 track as part of the event at one stage. And last year they ran side-by-sides at the Thumb Pump 300 as well. There's only a handful there. So the track can take it. The track is wide enough. It certainly will be by the end of it. But the good thing about it is it's basically a 26K loop and the event's a camp away. So we basically rock up, we set up our camping gear and we ride whenever we want. We've got a full track. You can hit a whole lap and it'll take you about 45 minutes to an hour, I guess, in a side-by-side.
Yeah, that'd be my guess, yeah.
If having a crack. Or you don't have to go fast and you can just cruise. There's plenty of opportunities for overtaking if you catch up to somebody. And if you're riding on the track and you decide, I want to have a bit of a break, just pull off the track and just sit there and wait. You can go for a drive. You can have a look around. Just don't jump back onto the track unless you're 100% sure which direction the track goes, because there won't be too many markers out there. So basically what I'd suggest is if you get off the track and then you find the track again, sit there and wait until a buggy comes past and then jump in after them. That way you'll know exactly which way to go. If you don't know 100% which way to go, then don't get back on the track. And there's plenty of property to go and have a bit of an adventure, go and explore. And we've got free reign of the whole property while we're there, which is awesome. So that's going to be really great. Facilities-wise, there is a shower block. I don't know whether they're up and running now. We built them back in the day, concrete floor, 4 bays, big donkeys out the back for a fire running hot water unit that Noodles set up, actually, back in the day, being a closet plumber. But I don't know whether they're working at all. The long drops will definitely still be there. But basically, bring everything that you need for camping. It's going to be a great, fantastic weekend. If there's anything you've forgotten or if you need fuel or anything, how far is it from the On the Run in Pinaroo? 20K?
Like 15 minutes, maybe 20 tops.
Yeah.
First bit's a bit slow going, but yeah, it's probably 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's on the run, so half decent coffee on my scale, not from your scale. You're a bit of a coffee snob, but the coffees on the run are bearable. The only thing is access. Usually it's pretty good, but the last couple of Ks, once you're in the property itself, it's pretty much four-wheel drive only, isn't it?
does get pretty sandy, and if it's because it's the road that we use to get in is the start of the border track, so the last probably 3 or 4 sand hills to get into where we're going to camp could be a bit chewed up. Is the prime time of the year at the moment for people doing the border track, which is Pinaroo to Bordertown. So it can get a bit chopped up. Don't know what it'll be like. There'll be someone there that can help you through anyway, usually. So
Yeah.
if you do get stuck, jump on the two-way radio. We'll hear you from there and ask for help.
Yeah, exactly. We'll drag you through, or worst case scenario, you can pull up just inside the gate if you're a bit nervous about it and unload your buggy, because once you're in the property, you're there, and we can get you in with your buggy if you need to. But yeah, either way, we'll get you in there. We've had Rob Van Vliet's bus in there a couple of times. We have had to tow it, but we've got it in there.
Well, we had a concrete truck in to pour the concrete in the toilets.
We did, absolutely. So, and that got him fine. So it was back in the day, but yeah. So it's a really good property. It's a really good track. It's for the guys who are racers or racers at heart. The last 2 rides that we did wouldn't have been suitable for you guys because they were more low speed adventure, crazy climbs, and more picturesque adventures. This is a racetrack. If you want to put your foot down and give it a bit of a push, this is the event to do it at. So yeah, anyone who wants to do a bit of pre-running in their race buggy, or just want to have a bit of a play and don't mind getting the speed up a little bit, this is going to be the perfect ride for you. In saying that, if you're like me and you're usually at the back and you're not all about going flat out, then it's going to be ideal as well because you just pick yourself a gap on the track. It's a 26K loop. You'll hear someone coming. Just drive along. If someone catches up to you, when you get up, because there's twisty sand dune sections, and then they open up into big paddock sections. When you get in the paddock sections, whoever's behind you is just going to get around you and go. It's not race condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not race condition. So if someone catches up to you, well, they can just back off for a little bit until you get out of that scrub section into the open section and bang, off you go again. So it's a good track, hey?
Yep, it's good for everyone, like you said. Good for people who want to go faster, but good for people who want to try out a bit of sand if they haven't had a chance to ride in sand. So not anything too dangerous, I would imagine, that you can't, for the inexperienced person, you're not going to get caught out.
Yeah, and the good thing about the scrub that's up there, that's where they I don't know if they still do, but they used to trim a lot of the brush for brush fences. So you could imagine if you run into a shrub up there, you just bend it over. It's in sand. You know, you're not going to do too much damage.
Yeah, there's not a lot of big trees there at all.
Yeah, because it's pretty much desert, isn't it? It's Narcut National Park, just south of where we are. And the whole weekend's $70. So for driver, passenger, whatever, whoever's coming along, it's $70 for as long as you're there. If you come up just for the day, it's $70. If you come up and you want to ride from lunchtime on Friday to lunchtime on Sunday, it's $70. It doesn't change the price at all. So the property owner, which is a new property owner from the last couple of years, is just fantastic, and he's all about getting people out there and enjoying this fantastic property that he's got. So, yeah, for the guys over in Victoria, certainly Western Victoria and those guys north of Melbourne, it's not that far for you to go. It's probably one of the closest rides that you're going to have at the moment with the club, with the setup that we've got, where we're actually based out of Adelaide. This is on the border between South Australia and Victoria, so it's not all that far for you to come. So if you want to stick your toe in the water and have a go and see what the club's all about, this would be a great one to come along to. Would you agree, Dave?
Oh, most definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so Baker's not around at the moment. Baker's actually doing Route 66 over in the States. He and one of his mates are over there doing that for 3-4 weeks. He gets back about 4 days before the Scorpion Park ride, which he's coming to. So he sort of planned his Route 66 around the club rides, which was good of him. But one of the things he's going to do while he's over there, he found out that he's 20 minutes or 20 mile from the Solid Helmets facility in, I think it's in California. I'm not exactly sure whereabouts it is in the States, but he was talking with the guys from Solid Helmets who are strong supporters of the club, and they've actually sent us a couple of helmets for us to test, one of which you've got, Dave. And so they're going to get a bit of feedback from Mark, because he's got the other one that they sent us, and Mark's picking up, I think, 4 or 5 solid helmets for us when he's over there, because I've ordered one and a couple of the other guys have ordered them as well, because those ones that we got were really great. You haven't had a chance to use yours yet, have you?
Nah, I had some ear surgery recently, so I haven't been able to slide a helmet on, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. I've roughly put it on, but never used it in anger yet, so they look like they'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I love the one because the ones that you boys got were the one where it's basically an open face helmet and there's a jaw piece that clips in and that can come out, and you can still run comms in them. They're designed to have comms in them.
It's also got a flip down sun visor as well, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and a peak, so they're not like a car type helmet. They're actually designed for off road. Solid helmets are actually, they say they're designed specifically for side by side. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see that some of the other helmets that they've got. They've got the plugs in the back, so you can put blowers in them for fresh air and all that sort of stuff. But none of us have got that set up in our recreational buggies at this stage. I know a lot of racing guys have. But I'm keen to see what Mark comes back with. He says he's going to do some video while he's over there for us, so we'll see what he comes back with. All right, so outside of that, that's pretty much covered what we needed to talk about. We spoke about Warraweena. We've spoken about Scorpion Park, which is the next ride. After Scorpion Park, we've got 2 more rides for the year. The one after Scorpion Park is in October. That's the big one. That's Pack Saddle. That's the one that we're planning all the routes and everything now. I spoke to the guy who owns one of the 4 stations that we're going to be on. The guy on that Friday afternoon run, Noodles, that we were talking about, he messaged me back.
Yep.
I think they're lamb tagging at the moment up there. So for the next couple of weeks, they're all going to be flat out. But he said, yep, no problem, knock yourself out. He knew we were coming anyway, but he confirmed that afternoon was going to be fine. And then obviously on the Saturday all day, we're going to be doing a big mega loop over 3 other stations. We've got 1 million acres to play in. So it's a matter of utilising as much of that as we can. It looks like there's going to be a lot of rivers that we can cruise along. Again, you don't really know what you're going to come up to when you're looking on Google Maps, but I think the rivers look like they're going to be the most interesting bit of the lot.
Yeah, rivers and station tracks, it looks like. A little bit of elevation in some of the areas, but it should be like a good fun trail ride with hopefully a bit of pace to it as well.
Yep, absolutely. And the good thing about these sort of rides is, if it wasn't for the fact that the club's affiliated with Motorcycling Australia and we've got that public liability insurance, nobody would give us access to these properties. So you can't just go up there the following weekend and do the ride again. You have to do it with the club on these particular organised rides. But unlike a commercial tour, it's bugger all. It costs a small amount of money. I think it's going to be $70 again for the weekend, and that's about it. Camping's going to be free. There's hot showers at the Roadhouse there, which are free. We're staying at a pub for 2 nights. So how bad can that be? And we're chipping in $20 each for the lunch on the Sunday, which will happen at one of the stations. So we'll be getting fed the way the Jackaroos and the Shearers and everyone get fed out there as well. So it's going to be an amazing trip. I'm really looking forward to that. I know there's some guys coming over from Tassie for that. I know some guys from Victoria are coming over for it as well. I've been chatting with some guys from New South Wales, and they're toying with the idea of coming down. We'll see how we go, but that's the big one. And then the following ride after that is we're back at our old stomping ground at Kingston in the sand dunes, which again is on the Melbourne side of Adelaide, down in the Coorong. So that's going to be, that's an epic spot. That's a fantastic place to go riding.
Built for side-by-sides, really, that place.
Yeah, exactly. And it's private, so no one else is there. We've got the whole place to ourselves. It's just amazing. We're really lucky. The rides that we've got this year, the 5 rides, none of them are accessible without the sort of backup that we've got through the manufacturers, through our sponsors, and through Motorcycling Australia. So we're very, very lucky. Be interesting to see what we come up with next year. We've already got the wheels in motion for plans, and we'll definitely be expanding the club outside SA. But again, haven't committed to whether it's going to be Victoria or Tassie, where we open the next chapter. But next year there will definitely be a new chapter, and we're in discussions with both groups at the moment, just seeing where all the support's going to come from. Because obviously, wherever we've got the most members sign up, that'll be the area where we start the next chapter, which will just open things up for everyone. So we've got 5 rides in SA, and then let's say we open in Victoria, and we have another 5 rides in Victoria. Then the following year we open in Tassie, another 5 rides there. It means that we've got 15 rides each that we can choose from. Just pick and choose whatever we want to do. So that's what it's all about. All right. I reckon I've waffled on enough. Thanks for your help, Noodles. Appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, until next time.
Let the fiascos begin. All right, mate.
Yeah. All right.
Catch you later, man.